Hello, everyone. It's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. Before getting into it, this is a round 18 teamless reaction stream and tips for this week's games, as well as a Q&A. So if you've got any questions that you might have, feel free to put them in to the live YouTube comment section down below. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me, if you can see me. Let me know in the chat if everything's all working as well, just so I know that the stream is up and running smoothly for you guys. So let me know if the audio and the picture is clear and you can see that I'm actually live. But yeah, give this live stream a like. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button. And don't forget to, if you are a new viewer to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you are a returning or a new viewer, make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well. And hello to Tahi Bro in the live chat, the mod. And we've got Naz Williams as well in the chat. And we've got Edmond Dufty. How's it going, Edmond Dufty? Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. And hope you all had a great day, whatever you'll be working, or whether you've just had a chilled out day. Look, it's great to see you guys all. Of course, the game this weekend, it's going to be really exciting. Really looking forward to the game, especially the Bulldogs. It's going to be a tough one. I will be going live again later on tonight on the YouTube channel. It is going to be a bit of a late stream, so apologies for the New Zealand viewers, but one of the content creators, he's a Bulldogs fan, Michael from All Things Bulldogs. I've had him on my channel before. He's going to be coming on the preview the Warriors Bulldogs game, but it'll be a bit of a late one for you guys in New Zealand. So if you are able to tune in live, make sure you tune in live for that one. But it'll be at 8 p.m. Australia time, not 7 o'clock New Zealand, not 7 o'clock Australian time. Like I said last night, it is actually on 8 o'clock because Michael from All Things Bulldogs, he is working and he finishes late. So, yeah, it'll be a bit of a late one. But tune in for that one if you want to tune in for that one if you can live, or if you can't tune in for that one live, watch that one back later on the next day or whenever you can. So, yeah, make sure you give that one a watch. But it's teamless reaction, so I'm going to react to the team list that have been named for the Warriors. Give my overall thoughts on the team that we've named for this week's game against the Dogs, and then we'll do a proper preview with Michael from All Things Bulldogs later on tonight. So hello to William Pearson in the chat. How are you doing, William Pearson? Hope you're doing well. And we've also got Greg as well. Hello to Greg in the YouTube live chat as well. He says, yes, I can see you and I can hear you. All good. That's good to hear. And Edmond is saying he can hear me as well. That's great to hear as well. And Tahi Bro's also saying it's all good. So, yeah, teamless Tuesday. So I've got a few games this week. We'll go through the other games real soon, but we'll have a look at a bit of a focus onto the Warriors team list that's been named for this game against the Dogs. And we'll have a look at the Dogs team as well. So fullback, Chance Nigel Klukstad, Darren Watini-Zelezniak wing, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, in the centres with Pompey, Marcelo Montour on the wing, and halves of Shinaris, Tavia, and Tamari Martin. So it's pretty much unchanged lineup from last week's game. Look, really didn't expect a lot of changes, to be quite honest. So unchanged lineup there with the halves and the outside backs. Adam Vanua-Blake prop, Wade Egan hooker, and Mitchell Barnett prop with Marata Niokore second row, and Kurt Capewell in the second row starting names start this week with Tohu Harris lock, and the bench of Freddie Lussick, Dylan Walker, Jazz Tavanga. Jackson Ford is the 17, and the reserves of Jacob Laban, Tane Tawapiki, Ali Leotawa, Bunty Afoa, and Leka Haliasima has been named in the reserves this week. So, yeah, that's the Warriors side. So, looking at the Bulldogs team, so fullback is Connor Tracy, Jacob Carraz, Bronson Jerry, Stephen Crichton, Blake Wilson on the wing, Matt Burton, and Toby Sexton. Halves, Max King, prop, and Reid Marnie hooker, Samuel Hughes, the other prop, and Viliami Kikau second row, with Jamin Salmon and Bailey Harwood. Lock. Kurt Mann, Josh Curran, former Warrior, up against his former team. Curtis Morin and Lupo Hoppy is the 17. Reserves, Jarrell Skelton, Jake Turpin, Blake Taffy, Harry Hayes, and Jack Todd. So that's the reserves for the Dogs. And that's the Dogs side. So, Tahi Bro, all good. And Interwebby says, hello to Interwebby in the chat. Hope you're doing well yourself. He's saying the Dogs' backs are strong. They definitely have a great lineup for sure. Looking at that team, I've got to say, man, that is very strong side for the Bulldogs, especially, their 4-pack. You've got, of course, you got King there, Viliami Kikau, and, of course, Reed Marnie as well, who's really, one of those pests, right? One of those annoying players on the field this year. Well, he's been quite one of those players, quite a niggly player as well. So you look at the Dogs team, we've got Curran there on the bench, man. Curran will be wanting to have a big game as well up against his former side in the Warriors. So, yeah, look, man, that's a strong Bulldogs lineup. Not really surprised with our team, of course. Didn't expect a lot of changes. I like our team this week, especially, of course, with Chanel and Tamari Martin, how they went against the Broncos was a strong performance. So keen to see how they go against this Dogs team, who are sitting very high on the ladder at the moment. They're sitting 5th spot, and they're doing a great job, man. They've been so resilient. You look at their defence this year as well. I think the second best defence in the comp alongside Penrith as well, which is saying a lot of what Cameron Serrato is doing for the Dogs side. And if you look at the players, they should be doing quite well. They should be sitting quite high on the ladder. So, it's probably a surprise to a lot of people. But with the team they have, of course they should be up there. They should be challenging for top 8 when you think about this side. So, it's like the Bulldogs of old. It's like the Bulldogs of old a couple of years ago. We've seen from the Dogs. There's a resilient side defensively. Can grind out games as well. So it's going to be, I think, for the Warriors, this is a really tricky game for us when you think about it, because it's in Sydney. It's at a core stadium. The Dogs are undefeated there this year. They haven't lost a game in Sydney as well at home. So, yeah, look, we are looking to break the Bulldogs' unbeaten record at a core stadium in Sydney as well. So it's going to be a real tough game. I think the key for me is going to be for the Warriors is obviously Harris Tavita and Tamari Martin. After last week's game against the Bulldogs, after last week's game against the Broncos at Go Media Mount Smith Stadium, they were the key for us in terms of the way we got the result. And of course our forward pack as well, who are a lot better against the Broncos, and our forward pack will need to stand up against the Dogs pack as well. So yeah, that's going to be the key for me for this one. But look, generally speaking, with the team list, any inclusions, I expect any changes come kickoff time. I think we may see Webby go and change it up come kickoff time. We know he's not the one to keep the same lineup that he names on Tuesday. So I could see someone like Harris going back to the bench, and probably Dylan Walker going back to lock. Dylan Walker's very strong in that lock position. So, he suits that position very well. And I think Harris is really better off the bench. Let's be quite honest. I think he's been quite better off the bench. Kurt Capewell in the second row this week. How that's going to go is really interesting. Look, I think Kurt Capewell has had one of those seasons where he's had a few injuries. He's probably been a little bit, I wouldn't say he's been great, but when he's been in the side, he's generally one of those players, brings out a lot of experience. So, yeah, that'll be real interesting to see how he goes starting for the Warriors. And he hasn't started in a while as well. So, yeah, that'll be real interesting. But pre-game Fallon, how's it going pre-game Fallon? Saying here that Freddie starts at hooker for defence as a big body and walks at 13. Yeah, I think they'll stick with Wade Egan at starting hooker. I don't think they'll make a change there. I think Freddie Lustick will do what he did last week when you looked at his role against the Broncos at home. So they'll probably Webby will probably stick with what he did last week against the Broncos and bring him on in a couple of minutes, and he might play that. Of course, he'll play that hooker role there, that backup hooker role, and he will come on. And I think last week against the Broncos, when you look at his impact, he brought plenty of impact, really. He scored that try that was much needed for us to wrap up the game as well. So, yeah, and look, yeah, Evan's right about Mitchell Barnett. He's made a big difference in the last game. He definitely did. He was so important for us when you look at the way we played and our forwards. And, of course, Barney is such an important player to this team. We missed him against the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago. We felt the impact that he brought to the side, especially against the Broncos as well. So, and we're going to say that Barnett's been pretty unlucky to miss the starting side of the New South Wales Blues, man. He's been named in the reserves the first 2 games. So, yeah, he has been quite unlucky not to get selected for that New South Wales Blues side, which I think his form has warranted him a selection in that Blues side. But, yeah, look, if you're the New South Wales Blues, you're probably not going to make any changes. So he probably won't get an opportunity in Game 3. But maybe he'll run the reserves for the New South Wales Blues for Game 3 of the series. But, yeah, pre-game Fallon says Freddie is an underrated 9. Yeah, look, I think he's a solid player, right? He does the job very well. He's a good defensive. Well, he's got a good defensive mindset as a player. Doesn't miss too many tackles. There is a couple of things that I will say that Freddie Lussick probably, I think he does need to improve on and step up on a bit more. But look, other than that, he's a solid player, right? He's not. You can't expect him to be a Wade Egan, right? You can't expect that from Freddie Lussick. So he's a good solid player, right? Good solid backup player. Hello to Matu Hanare in the chat. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. He's saying here, looking forward to having Barnett, Fisher Harris work together next year. They'll be real good. I can't wait for that one. It should be really exciting in 2025 when that all comes around, of course. But yeah, it should be good having those two together in the side. And Tahi Bro is saying here that the Dogs have really put forward their best. Stock goes to show how important it is. Yeah, and we look, I mean, a lot of fans, including myself, probably laugh about the fact that the Dogs have so many utility players, right? They signed a lot of utility players. And look, it's really paid off for them this year. They've had some injuries as well this year, the Bulldogs. You got to remember they're not the only. A lot of Warriors and a few other teams aren't the only teams that have had injuries and problems. But the Bulldogs have handled that very well, right? I think what the Bulldogs are doing this year reminds me of what the Warriors did last year, right? They're showing a lot of resilience with their defense, and they're not leaking a lot of points. So the Warriors are going to have to find a way to expose the Bulldogs defensively, and the Bulldogs defensively haven't really been troubled this year. They haven't really, and surprisingly, they're up there in terms of the defensive side of the game. They're second best, right, behind Penrith. They're behind Penrith in the second best defence in the competition. So full credit to the Bulldogs and how they're going. But yeah, look, I'm looking forward to having Michael from All Things Bulldogs. He is a Bulldogs fan, so he's going to have a lot more knowledge on his side, the Dogs. And he's going to be coming on the channel later on tonight at 8 p.m. Australia time. So that'll be right 10 p.m. New Zealand time to preview the Warriors-Dogs game. But if you guys can't watch it live, you guys can watch it back on replay if it's a bit too late for the New Zealand viewers. So apologies if it's a bit too late, but he can only come on at that time. So yeah, we were good to have his insights. Have had him on the channel last year. If you guys want to go back and watch it last year, he's a massive Bulldogs fan. He's got a YouTube channel called All Things Bulldogs. And yeah, looking forward to having him on to preview the game later on tonight. We're going to go through the team list, key players, predictions, and all that sort of stuff as well. But look, general takes on the team list. I've got to say both teams look very strong sides, right? The Bulldogs, man, it's going to be a tough team to beat on Saturday. And as the Warriors, look, team changes. The only team change I could expect come kickoff time probably Harris coming onto the bench, and maybe a Dylan Walker at lock with Dylan Walker at lock. So that's probably the only change I can see happening. But yeah, Edmond Duff there says, what do you think of Chanel since he's been since he's been back. Chanel's been great, even on Dufty. He's been in good form. He's playing some good footy. Obviously, he's limited on chances this year. He's been in and out of the squad. He's either been on the bench or he's been in the reserves. So, but when he's played with Tamari Martin, they've built a very strong combination. And I like what they've been doing, those two players. So you saw that in that 3-game winning streak when Tamari Martin and CHC were playing together. So, yeah, hopefully we can see something similar in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can see another a 3-game winning streak, or hopefully even more than a 3-game winning streak. But yeah, look, those two players as a combination, it's about continuing to build and improve moving forward. So yeah, they're going well in one. They're going real well in one, Dufty. They're going very well. And Chanel's a talented player. He's very young as well, and he's playing a part, right? He played a part last week. Him and Tamare especially, and hopefully they can continue that this week against the Dogs. It's going to be really important. But yeah, Tahi Bro says excellent, Christian. Looking forward to watching that show. Yeah, it should be good. Having him on later, Michael. But Emma Duffy, yes, says it's good to have him back. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys, feel free to put in your comments and questions in the live chat. Anything you have in regards to the Warriors or this week's games coming up. I am going to go through my tips for the games coming up as well. So while I do that, feel free to put in your comments and questions, and I will definitely get back to it. But right, we'll go through the team list, any ins and outs for the teams, and give my predictions for this week's game. Starting off with Thursday night. So Thursday we've got the Eels and the Rabbitohs. Parramatta Eels taking on the Rabbitohs down there at CommBank Stadium. This game kicks off at 7:50 p.m. Australia time, so that'll be 9:50 p.m. New Zealand time. Parramatta Eels, right? So last week they lost to the Newcastle Knights down there in Newcastle. The Rabbitohs are in pretty good form at the moment. They're playing some good footy. They obviously had a really tough start to the year. They lost Demetriou. They found some form over the last couple of weeks. So they're playing good footy at the moment. I think they found some confidence moving forward, and who knows, maybe they could still, make a run for the finals, which is crazy to even say that, because it looked like they were gone and done and dusted and out. But if they can go on a bit of a winning streak here, maybe they could push for a final spot. You never know. But as the Parramatta Eels are back at home, they're looking to bounce back. Moses in Origin was outstanding for the New South Wales Blues in that game too, down there in Melbourne. He also had a great game against the Knights, I thought, as well. So he's in a bit of a confidence-boosting mood after, his form, right, against the Maroons in Melbourne. As for the Rabbitohs, look, for this game, just looking at any team changes. So the Rabbitohs have Latrell Mitchell back into the side, backing up from his strong performance for the Blues for this one. And also Cameron Murray's back, actually. So Michael Sheekham has gone to the bench. Jai Gray is 18th man for the Rabbitohs. As for the Eels, Sivo is out due to a hamstring injury. Jake Taigo on the wing for his NRL debut. And Charlie Garmer will make his NRL debut off the bench. So a couple of debutants for this game. And Mikasiki Makatoa is out of the side. So for this game, I'm actually going to tip the Rabbitohs. I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs to win this game. Rabbitohs, for me, I think they will win this. And I think first try score will go with LM, Latrell Mitchell. Latrell Mitchell will score first try scorer. We'll go Rabbitohs by 10, and anytime try scorer will go with, I'll go with Moses anytime, and we'll go with Alex Johnston anytime as well. So my tip is the Rabbitohs to win this game by 10 points over the Eels down there at CommBank Stadium. And I think they will get the victory in this game. But yeah, let me know your tips in the comments down below, guys. Let me know who you're tipping for the NRL games this week. Let me know if you're tipping the Eels or the Rabbitohs in the live chat. And what is your prediction and margin and your first try scorer? Hello to Jazz in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Jazz. Kia ora. How's the Staunch Warriors fan going? Yep, doing very well, Jazz. Good to get that winning feeling back against the Broncos, and hopefully we can get that winning feeling again against the Dogs on Saturday. So good to see you, Jazz, in the chat. But yeah, I've gone with the Rabbitohs. Like I said, I've gone with the Rabbitohs. But guys, give this live stream a like if you haven't done so already. Click that thumbs up button. Make sure you're liking the live stream if you haven't done so already. And if you are a new viewer or a returning viewer to this YouTube channel, you're watching the content, please go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free and helps the channel. It's all much appreciated as well. So Eels, Rabbitohs. I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs to win that game by 10 points. Now it's a Friday game now. So the Friday games, I think we've got 2 games on the Friday. We do have 2 games on the Friday. The first game on Friday sees the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Gold Coast Titans. Now, the Gold Coast Titans last week had a bye, so they did not play, but the previous week, of course, coming off that win over us. So they're coming off the bye. As for the Sharks, coming off that loss to the Bulldogs by 1 point in Sydney last week. Now, this game has been played actually at Coffs Harbour at the Coffs International Stadium, so it's on neutral venue here for this one. 6 p.m. Australia time, so that'll be 8 p.m. kickoff in New Zealand. So that'll be on Sky in New Zealand, Fox and Kayo here in Australia. Looking at the team changes for this one, really interesting. So with the Sharks, they've got Daniel X coming onto the wing for Katoa, who's got a head knock. And that is the only change for the Sharks. As for the Titans, AJ Brimson's actually back from a groin injury, and he's back at 5'8" for Jaden Campbell, who's got a hand injury. Jojo Fafita is actually back as well after missing illness, and Philip Sami goes back to the centres. Bo Fumel is on returns into the 4-pack, and Fodawaker's back from the Maroons duty as well. So for this game, I'm going to go with the Sharks, but I'm not going to say I'm that confident considering the Sharks, in games over the last couple of weeks, have been in, they've been a little bit, hit and miss, right? The Sharks lately, they've been in games where they should win and they don't win, and then they lose games that, you just don't expect them to lose. So I'm not as confident with the Sharks. I think they're a little bit overhyped, in my opinion. I think they're a little bit overhyped in terms of the team. They are sitting in the top 4 still, but look, they're a little bit hit and miss, right, the Sharks. So, yeah, I'll go with the Sharks. I think they should bounce back. They should win this game. I'm going to go with the Sharks to win this one by. I don't think it'll be a smashing. I think the Titans will give this one a real competitive matchup. So I'll go with the Sharks by 12 points at least, and I think the Titans can definitely be a chance of winning this one. I reckon they could be. But I'm going to go with the Sharks. Sharks by 12 for me. I don't know with the Sharks. They can be. Well, they're expected to win this game comfortably. They really should do, but with the Titans, they've got some players that they could make a difference here. So I think the Titans will fancy their chances. I don't think they'll be thinking this one is that difficult of a game for them. I think they could go over there and actually cause a surprising win for me. But I'll go with Sharks. Sharks by 12, and first try scorer will go with William Kennedy. Any time we'll go Ronaldo Mulitalo. And for the Titans, we're going to go with Brian Kelly and Philip Sami for the Titans here for me. But Sharks will win. Sharks really should win this game. Hello, Greg. Hello to Jose in the chat here. Hope you're doing well. He's saying he hopes they start Dylan Walker again with Tohu coming off the bench. I think that's the way they will go with Jose. I think that's what I reckon they will do. Look, Webby doesn't usually have the same lineup come kickoff time, right? The team he names on Tuesday, we generally see some changes. So I think we'll see some changes, and I think that will happen. I think Walker will start in the lock position with Harris going back to the bench. But, yeah, I think we'll definitely see some changes for me. And Tahi Bro says, pump the likes. Absolutely, pump the likes. Everyone, like the live stream if you haven't done so already. Share the live stream. And if you are a new viewer, please go ahead and subscribe. subscribing to the channel is absolutely free, guys, and really does help the channel. So this game here, we've got the second game of Friday night footy. Sees the Brisbane Broncos taking on the Penrith Panthers. This is the grand final rematch. Well, the Broncos, boy, yeah, well, their form hasn't been great over the last couple of weeks, right? Their performances haven't been great. It's not the same Broncos team we've seen from last year where, they were sitting really high on the ladder at this point of the season. They were sitting in second. They do welcome back some big inclusions, though, to the side, which we'll get into real soon. But look, as the Panthers also do welcome some players back as well. Look, Panthers coming off that result to the Cowboys last week. Down there in Penrith, they lost to the Cowboys. Look, Penrith had a few outs, so, that didn't definitely affected their side. But in saying that, the Cowboys had a few outs as well, so you've got to give credit to the Cowboys for going down to Penrith and beating the Panthers down there. It's not an easy task to do. And, despite Penrith having those players out, you'd still expect Penrith to go and get the win over the Cowboys at home, but they didn't. So, look, I think Penrith will want to bounce back here. Looking at the Broncos lineup, they do welcome back Reece Walsh. He's back at the fullback spot, so that is a good inclusion for the Broncos. Very important one. They definitely need him back into the side. Of course, he provides a lot to the attack as well in the team. And Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas also return after being rested from Origin 2. Dean Mariner shifts to centre, and Corey Oates returns from injury. He is from knee injury, and he's on the wing with Katoni Staggs named in the reserves. And Jake Goeski and Fletcher Baker are both out, with Jake Goeski having an arm injury and Fletcher Baker with a knee injury against the Warriors. Panthers welcome back Dylan Edwards to the fullback spot, Brian Toto, Jerome Luai, and Liam Martin, while Isaiah Yeo returns to the starting lineup. And Dane Laurie and Liam Henry all reverted to the bench for this game. So, yeah, look, as Jose is saying here, he's gone with the Panthers here by 1-12. And Tahi Bro says the Panthers' best lineup at this stage. Yeah, it's probably definitely the best lineup they've had in the last couple of weeks. They've had some players out, they've had injuries, they've had suspensions. Well, of course, with Origin, that was going to be affected the most. As for the Broncos, of course, they were affected with Origin, but they didn't play the Origin players last week, coming from backup, not backing up against the Warriors in Auckland due to travel, of course, and due to them wanting to risk players and have them fresh for this game. So, look, I think for me, regards to this one, I'm going to tip Penrith. I'm going to tip the Panthers, but I do expect the Broncos at home at Suncorp Stadium, Brisbane, to have some sort of bounce back performance here. So I think they will, give it a red hot crack. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if they scored the first try in this game. They got a few points early on the board, and Penrith had to bounce some way back into it. Look, for me, I'm going to go Panthers to win this game, but I think it'll be a real close game. Originally, I thought 13 plus, but now with Penrith, with Brisbane having these players back with Walsh and Haas as well, I think that will actually give them a bit of a boost. So I'm going to go Penrith just to win this game by 4 points. First try scorer will go with. I'm going to go with Corey Oates first try scorer anytime. We'll go with Sunia Taruva anytime, Isaac Tago, and we'll go with Selwyn Cobbo anytime for me. So, those are my predictions. And I think the Panthers will get the win, but I'm probably not as confident about this one because I feel like the Broncos are due for a win. They're really due for a win, and they'll be due for a confidence-boosting result. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brisbane won this one. I really wouldn't. But I'm backing Penrith, but not with much confidence, really, to be honest. Yeah, Tago has so many errors, it's crazy. Yeah, Tago's actually fallen off the boil this year, hasn't he? Like, I think the start of the year he was doing all right, and then I think his performances haven't been quite there, haven't they? So, I think he's a quality player, Isaac Tago, but he has had a few errors in his game over the recent, the recent times. So, I do think that is maybe something that Brisbane could look to target, maybe a weakness. In that centre position in terms of Tago. Penrith don't usually have any weaknesses at all, but maybe they can target Tago a little bit there because he's made a few errors. But Jose is saying here, I hope that Dill Walk starts again. I've already read that chat. Apologies there. I don't know why I read that chat again. But yeah, here's a new chat. Here's a new comment. Apologies if I've read the same comment there. So Jose is saying, what do you think of Dane Laurie? I think Dane Laurie is he's a handy player, right? He's a handy player. He does a lot of flash stuff, doesn't he? But it's really interesting because they've got him named on the bench for Penrith in this game. So I think he's not too bad of a player. I don't rate him that highly though, but he's okay. He's okay for what they have right there. So yeah, Tahi Bro says we exposed him in our game. Yeah, we definitely did with our halves of CNAC there and TMM. We definitely expose him for sure. So yeah, look, this game really, it could be a Broncos win, it could be a Penrith winning comfortably. You just don't know with Brisbane. Obviously having those players back with Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas, and Walsh are big inclusions, but they need to get a win right. They need to start getting some wins, the Broncos, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying that at this point of the season because I thought they would be comfortably in the top four right now, in the top eight comfortably, but they're sitting in seventh, I think, from my memory on the ladder at the moment. So, yeah, man, they need to get a win, really. That this is probably an important game, more so for the Broncos than it is for Penrith, right? Penrith, they need to win this game, But obviously they'll want to win anyway because they lost to the Cowboys last week down there in Penrith. So don't be surprised if the Broncos win. Don't be surprised. Don't be real surprised if they win. But I actually am going with Penrith by 4 there. Now to the next game. So the Warriors game, I will be doing a preview with Michael from All Things Bulldogs. So those of you wondering where my prediction is for that game, I will be doing a separate preview live stream show with Michael from All Things Bulldogs YouTube channel tonight at of the later time of 10 p.m. New Zealand time. So apologies, guys, if it's late for you. But if you are up, if you are able to tune in for that one live, that will be 10 p.m. New Zealand time, 8 p.m. Australia time. But if you want to watch it back, if you can't watch it live, watch that one back, which will be Michael coming on from All Things Bulldogs to preview the Warriors Bulldogs, about predictions and chat about the players and the teams as well. But yeah, this game now, so we've got the West Tigers taking on the Melbourne Storm. This game has been played at Leichhardt Oval. So look, just speaking of this one, the last time the Tigers played at home, they were at Campbelltown Stadium and they won that game. So look, the Tigers, it's going to be a difficult one for them because they're taking on the Melbourne Storm, and just look at the Melbourne Storm team list. They do have a big inclusion, and I think this was asked in the media last week to Craig Bellamy, was about Ryan Pappenhausen, and he is named to play. So he is back into the side at fullback. Not good news for Tigers fans with Pappenhausen named to play. So that's not going to help their case. But yeah, look, the Storm, they're going very well at the moment. They're sitting top of the ladder. Had a bit of a scrappy win over the Raiders there. So, of course, had a few players out. So that's probably why they weren't at their real best. Will Warbrick's name on the wing, Grant Anderson in the centres with Jack Howarth, Kane Bradley on the wing, and Tyrone Wishart 5'8" from Jerome Hughes halfback. So Xavier Coates is the big out, of course. He's sidelined with a hamstring injury, so that's not good news for the Storm, and not good news for the Maroons either. So that's a bit of a blow. So that's why Kane Bradley comes into the starting side for Xavier Coates. And Harry Grant is still on the sideline. So he is still still not available for this game. Remus Smith has been named 18th man after making a comeback from concussion from the New South Wales Cup last week. So, look, this is an easy game to tip for me. And sorry to say this, Tigers fans, the Storm should win this, and they should win this well. Look, I think Melbourne will win this by probably 30 points. I think they'll be far too good for the Tigers. Just look at the Tigers list there. Man, Charlie Staines comes back onto the wing. And Brett Naden drops out with John Bateman returning to the starting lineup. Justin Olam has been named in the reserves as well, and he's looks like he could be a chance to return from that injury that he suffered, a knee injury that he suffered. But yeah, Storm should win this well by 30. First try score, we'll go with Grant Anderson to first try score anytime. We'll go with Will Warbrick and Ryan Pappenhausen as well to score from me. But yeah, the Storm will be too strong, right? They'll win this game. They'll win it well. The Tigers, man, is one of these learning curve seasons for them. Benji's trying his hardest, but it's not easy. But yeah, hopefully we can see the Tigers, in the next couple of years, start to be a bit more of a competitive side moving forward. And Tahi Bro is saying here, Storm bench is too good. Yeah, it is. It's really strong. You've got Falungo, Walsh, Nelson Sofa-Solomona, and Joe Chan as well. It's a strong bench for the Storm. It's a strong Melbourne team. Don't forget as well, they've still got, Cameron Munster to come back. And once he comes back, the Storm are going to be close to full strength again. So, man, look out for the Storm. I mean, look, a lot of people, went high on them at the start of the year, and here they are. They're sitting on the top of the ladder for a reason. So you've got to give credit to how they're going. And look, I'm not the biggest Storm fan at all, to be honest. I don't really like the Storm, but you got to give them credit to how they're going at the moment. And and they've got players coming back, and they'll be even much stronger at the back end of the season. So that'll be a real danger for a lot of the other teams in this competition. But Sean Ball up against his former club. Yeah, absolutely. He's up against his former club, William Pearson. And Jose is asking, when is Papali'i back? I'm not too sure, Jose. I don't really know when he's back. I haven't seen any news on that one. But, yeah, I don't know when he's back, actually. I don't know. I haven't seen any news on that one. And Jose is saying, yeah, the Panthers really lose 2 in a row. Yeah, they really lose 2 in a row. Exactly right. And the 4-pack is worth a watch. Definitely is worth a watch for sure. But yeah, look, Storm win well. Storm win well by 30 points. So this next game on Saturday night is the last game of Super Saturday Footy on the 6th of July. Sees the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Manly Sea Eagles. Now, this is a really big game. Massive game for both these teams. Now, the Seagulls do welcome back Tommy Turbo. Yes, he is back into the side. He has been named to play in the centres. So that means that Kohler keeps his spot at fullback with Jason Saab on the wing. Ruben Garrick is still in the centres, which is really interesting. Tommy Talau on the wing. Brooks and Cherry Evans are the halves. So just looking at the other changes. So yeah, look, Cole at fullback, Garrick back from concussion, and Cherry Evans also, and Jake Trebojevic and Hamola Olakuatu are all back on deck, as well as Josh Aloiai returning from suspension. In the front row, Leo Hopawate, Nathan Brown, Cole Norton onto the bench for this one. As for the Cowboys, looking at their team, so Val Holmes is back, Murray Talangi, Tom Dearden, Ruben Cotter, Jeremiah Nanai, and Reece Robson all back on deck after not playing last week's game. And Funiaki, McIntyre, and Harrison Edwards all moved to the bench alongside Griffin Neame as well. for this one against the Seagulls at home. And the Cowboys had a big win last week against Penrith, so they will have a lot of confidence moving into this one. The Seagulls have Tommy Turbo back, so it'll be interesting to see how Tommy goes. Look, I think this game is quite difficult to call. You'd say the Cowboys should win this one at home. I reckon it'll be a very close game. I'll go with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys at home. But the interesting thing with the Cowboys is they're a really hard team to get a read on, right? One week, you don't expect them to win against a team like the Roosters or a team against the Panthers, and they get the result, and the next week they're at home, they're expected to win, and they don't win. So it's really hard to get a read on which Cowboys team's going to turn up, right? But they've got the Origin players back, which is going to help them. They're back at home in Townsville. They're playing in their conditions. So you'd think the Seagulls won't be afraid of going there to Townsville either. They won't be afraid. They've won games away from home before, so they won't be afraid of playing on this Cowboys team. But I think Cowboys will win. I'm going to go Cowboys in a cracker here. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. This probably could be the game of the round, actually, because this is so important for both teams. For the Cowboys, if they keep winning, they'll remain in the 8. As for the Seagulls, they'll be looking to stay in the 8 as well, or trying to get into the 8. So I think this will be a real cliffhanger game. I think it will be a real tough one. And I think it'll be close, very competitive matchup between these two sides. So Cowboys for me, I'm going to go with Cowboys by 6 points at least. First try scorer, I'm going to say, I'm going to go with Tommy Talau first try anytime. We'll go with Kyle Felt anytime and Scotty Drinkwater anytime try scorers. But look, for me, this is a tricky game to tip. This is a flip of a coin. It could go either way. But you'd think the Cowboys at home should be favourites. But don't rule off the Seagulls. Don't write them off. Look out for the likes of Tommy Turbo to have a big game. Cherry Evans as well. I think those are obviously their key players if they're going to go and get the win down there in Townsville in a away trip for the Seagulls. So, yeah, Cowboys for me by 4 points, by 6 points at least, and I think they will get the win in this game. And to the chat, go back to the chat, guys, to hear your thoughts. So Jazz is saying, I think the Cowboys have 6 of their 7 games at home plus the bye, which will give them a bit of a leg up in terms of advantage as well, so they don't have to travel a lot. So that will definitely help the Cowboys. Of course, the Cowboys and the Warriors are 2 teams that travel the most in the NRL competition, so that will give them a bit of a hope, moving forward, as well as being back at home, which will give them, a lot of much rest. They'll be fully fresh. They don't have to get on the plane. They don't have to travel, so that will give them a bit of a advantage in a way, I think, which is really interesting nonetheless. But Tahi Bro says, pump the likes for sure. Like the live stream, everyone. Hello to Richard in the chat. Good to see you. Richard in the chat says, up the Warriors, down the Doggies. And Jazz is also saying, I admire but hate the Storm. They're my number 1 team for the Warriors to beat. It's going to be so sweet when we finally beat them. Yeah, well, hopefully in 2025, Jazz. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We come so close over the years. But, yeah, look, it's a shame it's not this year. And Tahi Bro's saying this is a quality game. It definitely is going to be a real quality game. And I think this is probably one of the games of the round. I mean, there's quite a few other games that could be real interesting ones, but I think this game could be a game of the round. And probably the Warriors Dogs, I put that one as a good game as well, in my opinion. I think that will be a real close competitive match. Hello to Spider-Man. Hope you're doing well in the chat. They're saying here, do you think the Wars will make the top 8 or is it too late? I'm going to hold my thoughts to that comment, Spider-Man. I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself at the moment. I just want to wait and see how we go over the next couple of weeks. So I will get back to you and answer that one, but I just want to wait to see how our results go in the next couple of weeks, because I don't want to react. I don't want to get overexcited after, beating the Broncos, right? That's a good result, but we need to, back that up, right? We need to keep going. So, yeah, I'm not too sure yet, but it's a close ladder. Anything's possible. So never say never, right? we aren't far off, right? We're not far off if we can get a couple of wins. And who knows? But Naz is saying here we can still make the 8 and bump into the Storm. Oh, there's definitely still potential. Maybe we can still play them this year. We could still get another opportunity at the Storm this season. You just never know with the way the ladder is at the moment. So that just shows how crazy, some of the results have been, right? 1 week you expect another team to win and they don't, and then, there's upsets, right? So that could that definitely plays a part in the overall picture of the season. So, yeah, Cows to win for me, right? Cowboys first try scorer. Like I've said there, I've gone with did I say I went with Tommy Talau for Manly. That's right. Apologies, guys. My mind went blank there. So I went with Tommy Talau first try for Manly, and then any time I went with Kyle Feldt and Scotty Drinkwater for me. So those are my tips for those games. Now to this one on Sunday afternoon. So we got the game at 2:00 at Allianz Stadium. It's between the Sydney Roosters and the Dragons. Right now, this is another team who continues to prove me and a lot of people wrong. And it's the Dragons, who last week had a good win over the Dolphins. And they're now sitting in the top 8, which goes to show how the season is so crazy, right? These results. As for the Roosters, well, they're sitting high in the top 4 at the moment. Yep, they're sitting in 4th. And the Dragons are sitting in, where are they? Where are they sitting? They're sitting in 8th. They're sitting in 8th, right? They're sitting in 8th spot on the ladder. So this is another big, crucial game for the Dragons. This game is at Allianz Stadium, Sydney. So these two teams last played on Anzac Day. I think it was Anzac Day, and the Roosters towed them up. So the Dragons are a lot different team to that game only early this year, where the Roosters towed them up by a massive scoreline. So the Dragons have shown some improvement lately in their performances and their results, especially that good win over the Dolphins, which was a pretty comfortable win when you think of it. The Dolphins, I didn't expect the Dragons to win by that much, right? So the Roosters are in great form. They're sitting in the top 4 for a reason. They're scoring a lot of points as well in their games. Reality is they should win this game. They're at home. Joey Manu is a massive out for them. He is set to miss a month after fracturing his hand. Michael Jennings gets a call up to join the backline in the centres, and Lindsay Collins is in the starting role. Coming off the bench in round 17, he was on the bench there, so he's back in the starting side with Tyrell May reverting to the bench. Dragons, just one change there. Lomax is back after being rested last week. And Jack Bird is in the reserves for the Dragons. Now, I think this game has a potential of an upset. I really do think this one has, a real chance of maybe a Dragons win here, but I don't think I'll be tipping them to win this game. I do feel like the Roosters will win, but I don't think they will win 13+, actually. I had a long thought about this one, and I was thinking about tipping Roosters 13+, but then I thought to myself, the Dragons will be looking to get a bit of revenge of the Roosters after they smashed them on Anzac Day earlier this year. So I think the Roosters will win, but I don't think they will win by a lot, actually. I'm going to go with Roosters. Roosters by probably at least 10 points. I think the Roosters will win by 10. And my first try scorer, I'm going to go with, I think the Dragons can score first, actually. I'm going to go with the opposition player to score first. And I'm going to go with Zach Lomax, first try scorer. Anytime try scorer, we'll go with Daniel Tupou, Dominic Young, and we'll go with Teddy Tedesco, James Tedesco to score. So, yeah, I think the Roosters will win, but they won't win by 30 or 40 points. I think they will win by at least 10 points. I know they've scored a lot of points lately. I know they've picked up big wins, but I think the Dragons are on the improve, and I think the Dragons will want to have a big one, especially when they know how important this game is for them, because they are on the edge of the 8, right? They're sitting in 8th spot. So, and then they've got Manly behind them in 9th. So, if the Dragons lose this game and Manly beat the Cowboys, the Manly Seagulls will jump to 8th from the ladder over the Dragons. So the Dragons will know this is quite an important game for them in terms of the finals placings. So, yeah, I'll go with the Roosters for this game. And just popping into the chat, hello to Spider-Man again. He's saying it wasn't, well, it's good to know everyone's still staying positive. Yeah, I mean, look, of course, we're Warriors fans. We'll still back our players 100%. We'll always back our team. And I'm also just seeing here that Jazz is saying here the Chook's another milestone for both J.W. Hardgraves and Coach Robbo. Yeah. And, it'll be a hard match. Floodgates could open. Dragons have the stock and the bench on both sides far out. Yeah. So looking at the bench, well, it's quite posing, isn't it? But yeah, next game. So this final game on Sunday, right? So we've got the Newcastle Knights and the Canberra Raiders down here in Canberra. And this is another big game for both these teams. This is actually of course, Ricky last week in the press conference was quite critical of the 6 agains, the officiating, which is no surprise with Ricky Stewart. Man, he tends to have a little bit of a moan in the sook, nonetheless. But look, I think actually, you know what, I have to agree with him for once. I'm not the biggest fan of Ricky Stewart with his moaning, constant whinging. But he's probably got a point. They did have a lot of 6 agains against them last week against the Storm down there in Melbourne. So he's probably got a point there. Look, the Knights, actually, just seeing the Knights team list here. So fullback, big surprise here. I did not expect this one, but KP has been named to play. So Kalen Ponga is back for the Knights, and boy, this is a bit of a time. This is a big timing thing because the Maroons will probably name their side the week after for Origin Game 3. So maybe Kalen Ponga is still, keeping his chances of an Origin spot alive. Who knows? But look, he's back in the side for the Knights. I probably don't see him, getting selected for the Maroons in Game 3. But look, he will want to have a big game. He's back in the side, returning from injury. So that's a huge in for the Newcastle Knights. And I'm looking at the Raiders lineup. So Kyle Weeks has been named at fullback. Jordan Rapana's on the wing. Albert Hopeway in the centres and Adam Cook at halfback. And, Kalen Ponga's back. It's a huge in for the Knights, returning from that foot injury that has kept him out since round 7. Leo Thompson's also been named to play as well after being a late withdrawal last week from Achilles problem. And Dylan Lucas is also back on deck as well after picking up a hamstring injury. Phoenix Crossland will miss this match. And Jaden Brayley is named to start in the 9 in the hooker spot with Fletcher Sharp in the utility spot off the bench for the Knights here. Oh, geez. Jazz is asking here, any injuries to the Knights from last week? No, I think besides it says here Dylan Lucas got a hamstring injury and he's just back on deck. So no, not many injuries there to report, Jazz, as I said there. Bradman Best. Yeah, Bradman Best is a wrecking ball, isn't he? 342 meters. That, man, what a performance by Bradman Best. That's crazy. Crazy stuff by Bradman Best. Man, what a player. And what a performance last week, as I can see here in the chat. Yeah, it was outstanding. I think this game, it's quite tricky. It's quite tricky to call now. I just seen Kalen Ponga being named, and it's sort of given me a feeling that I'm really close and edging closer to the Knights here. I was going to tip the Raiders being in Canberra, but I think having the likes of KP back is a huge in for the Knights. And the Raiders, they've got a really interesting side this week as well. Just look at their team. So 4-pack with Papali'i, Tarpanay, Hudson Young, Elliot Whitehead. I know Ricky Stewart will want to have this team up after last week's result, which, didn't go their way. This is tricky. This is a difficult one to tip, guys. I am taking a bit of time to think about this one because this is a tip. This is a hard game to call. This is a flip of a coin. I'm gonna go. Yeah, let me know who you're going with in the chat, guys. I want to see who you guys are going with because Jose is saying here he's actually going to tip the Raiders 1-12. I got the Dragons right last week. I had the Dolphins, so I guess you can't say a lot about my tips. Actually, I only got 2 from 4, I think, 3 from 4. So I got a couple wrong last week. Rapana versus Gagai. Yep, very good. That's going to be a really good matchup between those two players. Oh, geez. I'm going to go with the Raiders here at home. I was so tempted to tip the Knights, really tempted to tip the Knights, but I'm going to go with the Raiders. And I think this will be another close game as well. So, yeah, I'll go with the Raiders. I'm going to go with the Raiders by 1 point. That's right, 1 point. I think this will be decided by a field goal in regular time. It won't go to golden point, but I reckon it'll go to regular time. I'll go with the Raiders by 1, and I think there'll be a field goal in this game. First try score, we'll say Bradman Best, first try. Any time, we'll say Gagai. We'll go with Jordan Rapana and Matthew Timoko any time for me. But, yeah, look, really tricky game to call. Tough one. But I think the Raiders will just edge it over the Knights in a close encounter. The backline, also that backline battle as well. You got Weeks, Rapana, Timoko, Hopewadi, and Savage. And, of course, the Knights backline's pretty threatening as well with Ponga, Chihuahua, Gagai, Best, and Margie. Man, that's a very good backline for the Knights as well. So, yeah, that's it. I think that's my tips, everyone. That's all the games this week. Quite a couple of teams also having the bye, so not a full round of footy, but quite a few games that I went through there. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. I will be back again live on the YouTube channel later on tonight. So join me for the preview between the Bulldogs and the Warriors with Michael from All Things Bulldogs YouTube channel. So that will be a little bit later on, a bit late for the New Zealand viewers, so apologies for that one. But yeah, look, unfortunately, of course, Michael's got work, so it has to be a bit of a late stream. But if you can tune in for that one live, feel free to tune in live. But if you can't, that's no worries. You can watch it back on replay later on the next day, or when you've got the time, everyone. But yeah, cheers everyone for watching. Please give this video a like the live stream if you haven't done so already. And if you are a new viewer to the YouTube channel, or you're a returning viewer to this YouTube channel, and you're watching all the content and the videos, please give this channel a subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2,800 subscribers. We're trying to get to 3K subscribers. We want to get to 3K by the end of the 2024 NRL season. And subscribing is absolutely free, guys, as well. It also helps the channel, helps the algorithm, helps the channel to grow, gets the word out about all the videos. And, Warriors content weekly, NRL tips weekly, Q&As, live shows, collabs with content creators. You'll see that all on the channel each week as well. But I appreciate all the support, everyone, nonetheless. I really do appreciate everyone for watching and tuning in and interacting in the live chat. Thanks to Hosea in the live chat. Thanks to Greg. Thanks to Tahi, bro. Thanks to Jazz. Also, thanks to everyone else who tuned in as well. Thanks to Naz Williams also in the chat. So, everyone, like this live stream if you haven't done so already. Click that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are a new viewer, haven't done so already, and share the live stream around. Comment your thoughts in the YouTube comment section if you are watching it back, and we'll see you guys all later on tonight at 8 p.m. Australia time. So that'll be 10 p.m. New Zealand time, or if you're watching it back, make sure you watch it back for the preview of the Warriors Dogs game. Have a good one, everyone. Have a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys all soon. Up the Wars, go the Warriors, and good luck to everyone's teams on the weekend. ahead of the round of footy. Have a good one.